What up, y'all? It's your guy Dawson from D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. Everybody who's donated, those of you all who will, you know I appreciate it. All that information is in the description box below. Make sure you go to my other YouTube channel, Dawson Speaks, subscribe over there, and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you get notifications when I drop a new video. Now let's get into this topic. All right, now I had to come back and revisit this video of Pastor Donnie McClurkin, and if you all have not seen the first video, go see that, then come back to this, and it'll make sense as to why I'm tying up these loose ends on the video I did. Because some of the people just did not get what I was trying to say, and I don't think that they did not get it. They didn't want to. And which happens when you don't talk all that super spiritual stuff. People miss out on the things. They're so heavenly minded, they're no earthly good. That's playing right in front of them. When Pastor Donnie went on Sister Circle and he made some remarks that really made me concerned, especially when you hear a person tell people that, you know, I go through bouts of cycles of depression, and I find ways and mechanisms to try to get out of them. And he said that at one time he talked to God and he said, please let me come home. Let's end this. When someone is talking like that, that is not something you just let go under the radar. I don't care if that's your favorite actor, your favorite pastor, your favorite singer, your favorite sports person. When people start making comments like that, even if it's your family member, you don't let stuff like that go under the radar. And he went on to say, and you all heard that, the 9-minute mark at Sister Circle video, go over there and look at it. I can't play it because of copyright stuff. This man said that when he goes home, he's alone. He said, I give so much in ministry. I give so much in music. I give so much to others, but there's nothing left for me. When I am on the plane, I'm alone. When I'm in bed, I'm alone. There's nothing there for me. So what I said to myself is that I thought he was going to marry Nicole C. Mullen. What happened there? I don't know. That was almost like 3 years ago. Nothing happened. So I'm saying if there's no one there but you, and you're in the bed alone, you're on the plane alone, why don't you have someone? If you want someone and you're alone and you're giving so much out to all these people and you're not giving to yourself, that's just you're setting yourself up basically for destruction, because you have to give to yourself to fill up your cup first before you give it to anyone else. And you never give out of your cup. You give from your saucer. You give from your overflow. So you'll always have something for you. Can I preach up in this sucker today? You always give from your overflow. You never get depleted trying to help nobody else. And a lot of times when we look at these, especially, I don't want to just say entertainers, but entertainers too, but people who are in the limelight like Donnie, especially when they're pastoring in ministry, they do that. They give all of their stuff, and then you don't give to yourself. How can you run on E? You're running on empty. That's why a lot of times you're going through all these cycles of all this kind of stuff. Because you got to be self-full. It's not being selfish. It's being self-full before I can fully help you and give to you. Now I'm going like I'm about to preach a sermon right there. But that didn't sit well with me. Now, some of you all said, Dawson, come on, man. You got to pray for him. Don't judge. And I'm saying I'm praying for him and I'm not judging. I'm just pointing out what the brother said on national television, which leads me to the next thing people were saying. You know, it's none of your business. Well, I'm sorry. When you get up on national television and you talk freely and you say something like that, it does become everyone's business, because it's not like you told it at the kitchen table. You said it on a national television show. So it is everyone's business. And then some of you all said at 60, he should just live his best life and not worry what others think. And I totally agree. At whatever Donnie is or whatever he does, you 60 years old, man. Come on now. You gonna wait another 60 some years to really give to yourself and do all like sometimes we just gotta you don't have to. This is one of the reasons why I and I know a lot of people who are in ministry. I know people who are sons and daughters of pastors and people who faithfully, a lot of them we talk, and then they talk to me and we talk about the stuff that goes on in the churches and stuff. And, I just kind of like, been there, done that. I don't go, so I don't think about it. But it's like, I understand, that being your job and all of this kind of stuff. But the thing is, I cannot lose my mental capacity trying to please people and give to people when I am not giving to myself. I say that because last year in 2019, you all know, if you don't Google it, the pastors that we lost who took themselves out of here. Prominent pastors who left their wives, their children, their families, and their churches behind. And what all of those people have to go through because their pastors felt so overwhelmed by giving to them, which leads me to another thing that many of you said in the comment section. You all said, Dawson, if he is having these cycles of depression and doing all of this, he really shouldn't be leading people. And as a person, I agree with you all, first of all, but as I sat up under a bishop for years down here in South Florida who struggled with depression. And I know every time I talk about my church, I went down here in South Florida, somebody always going to put it in the comments what church it was, or somebody going to say, and I could talk about it because I never plan to go back there again. I really do not. I feel freedom since I left all of that. I feel that my mind has gotten better. And, because it really, what was on the head, the bishop, it trickles on it goes in the congregation. I'm serious. It does. And sitting up under a bishop who dealt with depression and eventually years later, after I left the church, had a major stroke that caused him where he could not preach. And I don't even know to this day if he is fully preaching like he did before. That's what dealing with depression and dealing with the pressure of ministry and always giving to other people and not giving to yourself. It breaks you down. It breaks your body down. So when you all are saying, oh, well, that's just what you got to do in ministry and that's what you got. Let me tell you something. I understand you doing ministry, but all that ministry you're doing, you better be able to minister to yourself. You be able to be able to get your own mind right. I'm not going to get up here and motivate people. Oh, and Dawson this and if I can't motivate myself. I can't get up here and tell you, oh, well, this works and that works and that works. If I can't do it for me, that's why I'm not up here every week. Because sometimes I'm taking time out for me. I'm hanging out. I'm traveling. I'm going places because I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to be held bound to a system to try to make everybody to look good in people's eyes. And in the background, you're breaking down. You wouldn't go on TV. Maybe you would, but it's like, dude, would you sit in front of your church and tell them what you told these ladies on Sister Circle? And some of y'all, and you all got this, some of my subscribers get this, and many of you all said, he's in church, so he has to put on a mask. Because a lot of these people, they put on these airs and they're killing themselves, be trying to make y'all, oh, well, I got to be this and we still got to do this and all this. And they're too busy entertaining y'all and making y'all feel good. But when they go home, they are breaking down. Their bodies are breaking down. Their minds are not being regulated. They're giving so much to y'all. And when I point out something that our brother, Pastor Donnie, is sitting up here saying that I go through cycles of depression and I go through this. And I said to God, just let me come home. Please, let's just end this. That is a problem. Now, if you don't like that, please leave my platform and never come back, because those problems I will point out. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, if your church don't talk about it, if it's something that you dealing with that you want to keep it on the hush hush, then I'm the wrong YouTuber to come to, because we're going to talk about these topics. Now, many of you also got mad when I tied in the fact that Donnie was a part of the whole X movement and delivered him and Andrew Caldwell. You all got mad about that. How could you bring that up and all this kind of stuff? Because Pastor Donnie got there and he said that when he's on the plane, he's alone. When in his bed, he's alone. There's no one there to give to him. My thing is, buddy, why are you alone? You said that 20 years ago. You told us the spirit of homosexuality broke off of you 20 years ago. You're free. It broke. If you're free and it's broke and it's gone, why can't you find a wife? And some of you got mad, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think it takes a man 20-something years to find a wife. Feel however you want to feel about that. I'm going to stand by that. It does not take a man who wants a wife, who wants to be married. It does not take him 20 years to find a wife. Now, you can feel any way you want about that. I don't care. I'm going to stand by what I said. I'm bold enough to say it, and I'm standing by it. Now, some of my subscribers said, Dawson, you know what? Just let this man be. And some of you said, Dawson, Donnie knows what he is and what he does because there are many men and women in the ministry who are just like him, who are going through what he's going through, who know what they are and what they do, and they're doing it behind closed doors. And you all can look at other people's platform on YouTube and see that because they always exposing and dropping videos and stuff like that. So y'all know it to be true. And you all will sit there and defend people who are up on national television telling you that they're going through this type of depression, that that should have ended it right there. When a person is saying, I asked God, let's end this. Let me come home. Bruh, you're leading people. You're supposed to lead people in music. We need you to be healed. We need you to be, not saying you got to be perfect, but this brings up another question. Do you want a person who is a leader to lead you if they're battling with mental health issues? That's another thing. As I told you all, I was in a church. The pastor dealt with mental health issues. It affected the congregation deeply. Yes, it did. It changed when he would come out. Sometimes he would be in different moods and he'd be angry. And then I'd seen him reprimand people in front of the congregation and all this kind of stuff. Go up to people when things weren't right. And while praise and worship was going on, and people were like, okay, Bishop, just let it go, Bishop, just let it go. And then after that, he'd come and preach. And it's like, you want us to get out of the vein when we saw you get in front of this person's face and go off on them or come in with an attitude. And now you want to preach to us. We can't go through that. We can't go through that. And there are a lot of people who have been to churches like that or dealing with people who are like, people like that in ministry. And it's like that causes people not to want to have anything to do with that. Not that we're looking for perfect people, but I at least want you to be okay with yourself. Now, if you are going through a lot in your life, don't get up here and take out all that on people in the congregation. Sit down and let someone who has a word to give to the people, let them give it. As a matter of fact, some of y'all need to get your own word. You can get your own. You can get in the book and read yourself and speak life into your own self. Now, that's my take on it. I don't feel bad about what I said. I stand by everything I said, and I was coming from my heart. I really was concerned, and I am concerned that this brother continues to say this on different platforms and talk about this. And it just goes away. And many of you saints just, we going to pray. Oh, sha-la-la-la-la-la. And that's it. And this man tells y'all, I'm on the plane alone. I go home alone. I give to others, and there's no one to give to me. And I stand by what I said on the whole thing. I think a lot of his issues is that he's still dealing with being the whole poster child for the X movement. He is. Him and other people. And what really gets me is anytime I talk about him, Pastor Donnie, or Pastor Juanita Bynum, because she's part of that X movement too, all of the people who are just like them, you X who are in the church, you delivered Andrew Clydewell, Twinkle Toes, y'all always come over here and y'all get mad at me. You think, I don't care. You know it's true. That's why you get mad. Look here. Now, one of my subscribers said, Dawson, these men don't want to be married. They said, look at Jamal Bryant. Y'all named a few, and I'm going to talk about him. Y'all said Jamal Bryant, he's He's not married. Well, Jamal Bryant's not married. You're correct. Y'all said Marvin Sapp, and and then you all said Noel Jones. Now, Jamal Bryant, I don't think that's his issue. If he wanted to get married, he can get married, and we know he has no problem falling in the arms of a woman. We know that about Jamal Bryant, so I ain't even gonna go there. Marvin Sapp has never got up and cried and said he's so lonely that he goes through all of this. Nor have I heard Bishop Noel Jones, and Bishop Noel Jones is someone that I did, and I kind of still do. I call him Bishop Jones because when I'm out in California, that's my church, City of Refuge. Haven't been the last couple times I've been out there, but I look at him every now and then on the internet and all that good stuff. But I like Bishop Noel Jones' ministry. So many of you said, well, Bishop Noel Jones is not married and he has that lady and he's doing all this. Bishop has come out and that lady is Loretta. They have said that they're friends and all this kind of stuff. There's nothing there. And maybe their whole thing was just for the reality TV and stuff, whatever. I met Loretta and she's wonderful. That meant Bishop too. So, it's that right there. I didn't really think about that. But I thought about something another subscriber put. He said a lot of the stuff that Pastor Donnie is dealing with and all of this depression and stuff could be the karma that he is reaping from what he did when Brother Tony came out and was open about his struggles, and he did not hide because Pastor Donnie is hiding. And I was like, oh, please don't do that. You finna wake up a whole and I was like, maybe it's true. Because Pastor Donnie had a lot to say at the AIM convention that year when Tony came out with that message. And it's like he was very critical of Tony. But it's like you're sitting here now going through cycles of depression and you're asking God to come home. And people are like, well, what's wrong with you? We all remember when that went viral, when Tony came out and said stuff, and he was basically ostracized. What they call that when you get out of the church? He was excommunicated. Maybe not literally, but well, yeah, he was. Nobody, they cut off his money supply and everything. Until recently, a couple of months ago, Bishop Noel Jones allowed Tony to come back to church, and Tony led praise and worship. I saw the service and everything, and a lot of you all commented, and there were so many comments and all that kind of stuff. And boy, y'all really let that man have it in the comments. And oh, that's the spirit. He bringing that spirit back in the church. And oh my God. And my thing is, to y'all who say all that, do y'all know how these people living when they preach to y'all? Do you really know what after they sing to you all? Do you really know if they're living what they say? Do you know if they're living what they say and what they preach about? And how do you know that Pastor Tony did not repent for what he did or all this kind of stuff, and now he's back in God's good graces? Does he have to come and tell you what happened to him and all this kind of stuff? And that's why me and a lot of other people have a problem with church people. I really do. And I know, a lot of y'all don't like it. I do. Because people can get in front of you and they can have all these alphabets behind their names, and they can have on all the garb, and they can have the whole attitude of being sanctified and everything like that. And then when tragedy strikes or when scandal breaks out, we find out that all the stuff that you've been telling us, you have not been living yourself. And my thing is, even if it don't break out and all this come out, there are people that, and it don't come out on my show, it come out on them other people's show, where you all see this person has this lover and this person has this. I don't really get into all that, but I just talk kind of like an overview of it because I'm not really into like the whole salacious thing. I'm more of like a reporter type thing. I like going debating, that's my thing. Let everybody else, cool what everybody else do. But when we see that stuff come up, y'all are so shocked and all, but y'all right there watching it. But when we have conversations like this, it's like y'all want to fly away and go to heaven instead of acting like what's there is there. There are plenty Tonys still in the church. There are plenty people like Donnie who's still up there 20 years later. Oh, I'm lonely. I want to be lonely. I don't know, but God. So he going to wait another 10, 20 years before he just don't have nobody. What I would rather do, I know I said I'd rather for Pastor Donnie to come out and say that, whatever. You ain't got to do that. Just do me a favor. Shut up about it. Don't say nothing about it. Just keep going to your therapist. Don't keep putting it out there like that. I don't care what you do, buddy. I don't care who you're with. I don't care. Whatever. Cause these people still gonna buy, long as they don't know you doing what you doing, they gonna still buy your album. They gonna still come to your church. They still gonna do it. You know, they still gonna do it. They don't care. So if they don't care, I don't care. Now, jeez, bro, I swear the Super Saints come over here and y'all got so mad at me on that video. Y'all don't get mad about them videos when the people be bothering them children, but y'all come over here and get mad about Pastor Donnie. Oh, you don't know what he's been through. I don't have to know what he's been through. I know what he said, and I'm talking about what he said. I don't care what he been through. Do you know who been through him? Anyway, I'm gonna get on off of this. Y'all better leave me alone. You know I'm from Florida. It's your guy. It's your guy Dawson. Take care of yourself and each other.